something that's bothering me a bit. I realized yesterday that there was something missing from Reuters asking the questions to the Sussexes as they made their way in the building and out of the building. If you remember in the, not movie, but the series, The Crown, when the reporter, I guess it was the first or second season, when the reporter was asking Prince Philip a barrage of questions, and he had to remind her of her place when she said just one question too many. He said, "Sir," and she's like, had to take a deep swallow and, I am trying to kind of trip you up here, but other than that, I'm not able to breach that protocol. So, considering that, I remembered when Prince Harry was in Africa and he got a bit annoyed with the reporters yelling questions to him because it's not customary to just yell questions to the royals. Do you remember when one of our most esteemed journalists, Andrea Mitchell, asked a simple question of Kate Middleton, and they just about shut down the whole little round table because they didn't want Kate to have to embarrass herself. So rather than waiting for her to stammer and mumble out some type of response, she said whatever it was she was able to say, and before you know it, it was over with. Jill, put your notebook away. We're done here. Okay, so let's fast forward to the United Nations. This reporter obviously is from the UK, and even though this is not really considered a royal tour, this is two former senior royals who are still HRHs, who were not acting in the capacity of a commercial venture. They were working on behalf of their foundation, as well as whatever other entities involved with their reason for visiting the United Nations. And so this female reporter, she says,
"A question from Reuters. What are you planning to discuss with the Secretary General?"
And you know what was missing, right? You know where I'm going with this. I did not hear her say sir, and I did not hear her say ma'am. Sir or ma'am. She certainly has a very pronounced English accent. So because you are English and you are subjects of the Queen, not citizens, but subjects of Her Majesty the Queen, when you are addressing senior members of the royal family, when you're addressing anybody from the royal family, is ma'am or sir to you. I'm an American, so I don't have to live by those types of deferences, but I'm just like, who does she think she is? Is sir and ma'am.
What did you discuss with the Secretary General? A quick remark on the meeting?
Have a lovely meeting. Thank you. Have a good day.
Sir, may I ask you a question? Ma'am, can I please ask you a question? You don't just yell out these questions like that. And I'm thinking to myself, was she trying to be disrespectful? Or perhaps she was assuming because they're not in the United Kingdom, it's permissible to just yell out these questions without, a little preface of sir and ma'am. So I'm just like, okay. Yeah, I knew it was something about that bothered me. And ever since that situation with Harry in Africa and seeing it in the movie The Crown, you don't just yell those questions. And if you're from the southern United States, you know for sure you don't just Unless you want the business end of your grandma's slipper, you better throw a sir and ma'am in there. So, yeah, something about that just felt kind of strange to me. And so I'm just wondering what you guys think about that. But that is still the Duchess of Sussex. That is still the Duke of Sussex. And those are still members of the royal family. Royal tour or not, United States or not, you're from over there, you should know better. Even an American reporter called her Madam Duchess, which we all love so much. So I can't help but think that this particular reporter was trying to test the waters to see what she could get away with. Can I say one more time, didn't Meghan walk through there like the boss? Just the boss. I mean, that strut through there just captured my imagination. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sussexes. What made me think about this is that I looked at the video again and I'm just like, she wasn't very aggressive with her questioning, but she did not give the proper respect to Prince Harry or to the Duchess of Sussex when she asked the question. You better throw a ma'am or sir in there, as far as I'm concerned, especially if that's where you're from. You know, and even though I don't live in the South, I know better. When I'm talking to someone from the South, it's yes ma'am, yes sir. And I have to add to that too. When I was in the United Kingdom, as a customer or as an older person, I was always sir. So that's why I find this so unusual. I was raised in a family where I called my grandfather by his first name, and I called my aunts and uncles by their first name. In our family, they were a little progressive about that, and we were never corrected or given the signal that was necessary. However, the respect was still there. That was always a constant. But in this situation, I just thought it was rather strange. And that's why when they were on the Africa tour, Harry had to tell that one reporter, don't behave like that. Because she was like ambushing him with questions, and that rarely happens with the royals. I'm not going to say it never happens, but when that person asked Prince William about his family, I don't think that was an ambush. That was probably prearranged. I'm just saying. Otherwise, I would imagine that Prince William would have been, I don't know, maybe incandescent with rage. But I tell you what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the day when people from this country can actually hear reports about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan, without the filter of the royal rotor and so-called royal experts, or just put anybody with an English accent on television to ask questions. They're over here now. And as for what they may think about home, how about you ask and answer those questions back in the UK and just leave them alone? I mean, they're away from that now. Like I said in yesterday's video, Meghan is home, and we're not going to stand for it. Now, there's a lot of ways that they may try to manipulate or create some kind of scenario where they can try to turn people against her over here. But again, they don't have to go through that filter of those cronies, or not even cronies, but the Mormon Tabernacle Choir over at Kensington Palace. And yes, that is quite loaded the way I said that. Nothing against the Mormon community, of course. It's just my description. Anyway, it needs no explanation. Y'all know what I mean. But it's all a matter of the Sussexes being able to connect with the media here in the United States through their foundation and through their staff of Archwell Foundation, Archwell Productions, as well as the fact that they have decided that they would use the less conventional forms of media. In other words, social media, or people who, like myself, I mean, trust me, I doubt if I'll ever get a phone call from the Sussexes. I don't know if Prince Harry is close to Afro Annie. But I doubt if I'll ever get the phone call from Prince Harry or from Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, about anything. So, Madam Sussex, if you hear my voice, I would love to, but I guess that's not going to happen. But I'll say this, whoever that Reuters reporter was, don't allow yourself to be consumed by the informalities of the United States when it comes to addressing the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. You are still one of the Queen's subjects, and even if you're a citizen over here, don't lose your manners. Otherwise, we're going to call you out on it, and it's not going to be pretty. Now, yesterday, we had to go on and 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 on about Kate's dress. It's all over Twitter, good and bad. It's all over Twitter. Honestly, she looked fantastic. That's the best that she ever looked. And in spite of all of that progress, the tabloids still had to bring up Meghan's name. What is it with Meghan that we always have to... I told you, it's just like when you cook gourmet food. You add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil to so many dishes. Well, when it comes to anything to do with the royal family, I don't care what it's about, they have to add a couple of tablespoons of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in order to help people find the story, because other than that, nobody would probably ever read it. So, that being said, yes, Kate looked fantastic. That's the best she's ever looked. She was polished and varnished and had a veneer of God knows what on her face. She looked amazing. Not a hair out of place. That's our Kate. And she grinned and 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 grinned until you notice that her jaw looked like it's kind of not lining up anymore. That's because she's always grinning. Okay, so Kate looked fantastic. Okay, we got it. But let's recall the spring of 2020 when Kate and William made a visit to Ireland. Kate wore the most abominable outfit that money could buy. And I hope she didn't... Kate wore something that looked like kitchen curtains in a country cottage somewhere. Kitchen curtains in a country cottage somewhere. Lots of cuz for Kate's. Now those curtains... I'm sorry, I meant to say that dress. That dress is what she wore to somehow connect with the people of Ireland during her visit. You could even tell William was not thrilled by it. He couldn't even make eye contact with her. So, and when he did, he didn't look pleased. Now, this is what Kate wore a week before Meghan socked it to him with the most amazing weekend of royal fashion in the history of that family. I'm just going to say it. It was the most amazing weekend of royal dressing in the history of that family. Everything that was needed to send the message to the people of the United Kingdom. Sorry that I have to go, but this is what you're missing. And so while we're making this big fuss about Kate finally getting it, now it took her 10 years to get married. It took her 10 years to come up with 5 questions about child development. And as they say on Facts and 2 Cents, that's half a question a year. It took her 10 years of research and study and and finally she came up with those 5 questions about kids. Okay, so she's a late bloomer, that's for sure. That's our Kate. So Kate, finally, it didn't take her 10 years. It didn't take her 15 years. It took her 20 years to have that big fashion moment where people were just like so surprised. Is that Kate? So, yeah, it only took 10 years. Or I'm sorry, 20 years. But then again, she reverted to type. She went right back to a see-through dress, or what's implied to be transparent, which is the way she managed to get William's attention in the first place, I'm told, allegedly. So, bravo to Kate. Now that is something to grin about. You finally got it. You managed to even upstage the people that were in the movie. Bravo for you. And I have also been told that this particular outfit is like a mirror reflection or the spitting image of the outfit that Princess Diana wore when they had the premiere of another James Bond film called A View to a Kill. So she was pretty much channeling the Princess of Wales, because I tell you, she thinks she wants to be the next Princess of Wales. I cannot see that working out for her, but good luck to you, Kate. I'm sure you'll be able to grin your way right through it. Whatever that little tick is that she has that causes her to grin, I'm sure it will somehow pull her through this situation. So all the best to Kate. You guys, let her have this moment. She has struggled through many misguided attempt at eyebrows to get here. She has had to grin in spite of who she's married to. She spent a lot of time plotting against her sister-in-law, and all the time being pushed along by the ultimate social climber, and that of course would be her mom. And you know, every time I say Carol Middleton, I really want to say it like Tiger King when he would say Carol Baskin. That's how I really want to say it. But that's not going to stop me from making fun of her. So there you have it with the whole Kate thing. Hopefully we can live this down, but I got a feeling that the tabloids are going to go on and on and on about it until she finally, finds some set of kitchen curtains somewhere that she can have them turn into her next incredibly Kate outfit. But the truth is, I'm just sick of hearing about it. Do you hear me? Sick! But yeah, that outfit that Kate wore, that monstrous green outfit, for some reason, it always reminds me of that scene in Gone with the Wind where she took those drapes down and made a gown out of it. I just see that's exactly what she did. She saw some really nice drapes somewhere. And she said, "Can you?" And they said, sure, Mom. And they made that outfit for her. Just like Carol Burnett in the Carol Burnett show when she did the Gone with the Wind spoof or parody, where she reenacted the scene where they took the drapes down and made an outfit with it. So this has been quite a movement for her, and I think that we should applaud her for it. It's been a long struggle to get here, and I'm going to give respect where it's due, even if it is to that Carol Middleton's daughter. So hopefully that's it for the gold gown, and we're done with it. That's it for now. Please like, subscribe, share, donate, etc. If you would like to make a donation and you don't know how, to help support this channel, you can go to the comments section where you can find links to the Patreon, the PayPal, and the Cash App. Thanks for watching Royal Sussex.